Lysistrata, which literally translates to army disbander. The play was written at a time of war, but the everyday life in ancient Greece was pretty laid back. The men went to the theater if they weren't training for the military. The women were subject to domestic work. Most citizens made their living farming. They enjoyed a democratic government. There were great philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle, and great writers like Sophocles, Euripides, and Aristophanes. The story is an ancient Greek play written by Aristophanes sometime in the 400 BC. The exact date is unknown. Aristophanes is the only surviving author of the Old Comedy. He wrote many plays, with the first couple getting lost in history. His plays centered around the political struggle going on in Athens. He gets away from that theme in later plays, but returns to it in Lysistrata. Many believe the play was written out of grief for the many Athenians lost in their lives in the Battle of Syracuse. The Peloponnesian War plays a major role in the play. The war goes on from 431 to 404 BC. The war fought between Athens and its empire against the Peloponnesian League led by Sparta. The war takes place in three phases. The first one was the Achaemenid War, where Sparta launches repeated invasions on Attica, and Athens took advantage of its naval supremacy against Sparta to raid the coast of Peloponnese, attempting to suppress signs of unrest in the empire. This phase of the war ended in 421, with the sides signing the treaty. The treaty ended when the sides began fighting again in the Peloponnese. In 415, Athens launched a massive expeditionary force to attack Syracuse in Sicily. The attack was a complete failure, with the slaughter of the whole force sent by Athens died in 413. Then came the final phase of the war, the Declared War. In this phase, Sparta is now receiving support from Persia, and Athens is basically facing a civil war. And Athens losing its naval supremacy to Sparta basically had no help. Then Athens' fleet is destroyed in Mesopotamia. That basically ended the war because Athens was forced to surrender to Sparta. The protagonist of the play was a woman named Lysistrata, who was trying to get the Peloponnesian War to come to an end. It begins with her calling a meeting with the women of Greece and asking them to deny their husbands sexual relations as an attempt to end the Peloponnesian War. The women then take control of the city's treasury. A chorus of old men come and try to put them out, but the women fend them off. The magistrate arrives at the treasury building to get silver to fund the war, and find the women took control of the building. The women refuse to let him in, but tell him why they're doing this, and he storms away to go get the police. Lysistrata's women become desperate for sex and plan to give up. Lysistrata re-rallies them, and they get their discipline back. One of the women's husband appears, and in a desperate for sex. His wife tells him she can sleep with him until he ends the war. He agrees and thinks that they're going to have sex, but they don't. A Spartan leader then comes and wants to arrange peace talks. The sides then come together and agree to end the war, and then the two celebrate sides. The significance of the play today is it can be viewed as one of the first times women stood up for their rights, be it fictional or not. Especially in these times, that was unheard of. This was probably the first play that ever empowered women.